Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
The medium long-term measures, the three captioned persons agreed that the ECM to ensure one, expansion and scooping of the Earth Dam at a budget of Kenya shillings 3 million and constructions of Kwambandi Earth Dam at a budget cost Kenya shillings 4 million as appearing in the financial year 2018-2019 supplementary budget 2 is implemented before the end of May 2019.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think that is correct because in the revised budget, those dams do not have, were not allocated with any money.
Further, construction of Kwambutumbi Earth Dam budget at 3.9 million and construction and fencing of Elongoleni, whatever, Earth Dam at a budget of 4 million, which had been reallocated during the financial year 2018-2019 supplementary budget 2 to be reverted in the financial year 1920. Budget estimates and the projects be implemented before end of October year 2019. Next financial year. And then fourth, repair of machine Miangeni water project. Kivadhini B, DPO, and Chamberlain's water project at a budget of 3.1 million as appearing under the projects to be implemented by the Kenya shillings 10 million for disaster response as contained in the financial year 18-19 supplementary budget 2 to be implemented before the end of May year 2019. You have 10 million to do this by end of May. What is the problem?
Honorable Speaker, Kwamutombi belongs to Kakowaya. It's not a dam in my area. I think it was just misprinting.
What about the 10 million?
The other information is correct.
On Kavadi, Miangen water project and Chamberlain's water project?
Yes.
At 10 million?
No, 3.1.
No, is 10 million, 3.1 million as appearing under.
Yes.
Under the 10 million to be carved from the 10 million disaster. That's what it's reading.
3.1, yes, to be carved from the 10 million.
Yes.
Correct.
So your responsibility as a member of Songaleni is to get those things done. In fact, what you should have asked is that now that you have so many water projects, when will they be implemented and when will you go to commission? By date. You are very rich.
Mr. Speaker, sir, those are small, isolated projects which I hope the ECM will ensure that they are done before June.
It is not the responsibility of the ECM to ensure. The responsibility of the ECM is to implement. But the responsibility to ensure what you passed in the budget has been implemented is the responsibility of a member of the County Assembly and the respective committee.
Well informed.
Yes.
Thank you.
So keep your eyes on ground so that you deal with that matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've heard the name Kwamutombi Earth Dam, and I also need clarification from the chair himself and not the requester of the statement, so that I'm sure that the relocated amount of 3.9 is not actually from the Kwamutombi at Waiyakako, and let him assure us that it is just a misprint, Mr. Speaker, because this Kwamutombi Earth Dam is a controversial and a project that the residents of Waiyakako have been following with a lot of passion, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Chairperson, what is the relationship between Kakoi and Masongaleni?
Honorable Speaker, as the committee was trying to get the projects which can be fast-tracked in the ward, we might have lifted this name from probably Waiyakako, and I think we should apologize for this. Fortunately, we have so many other projects in this ward, and have indicated our work together with the MCA will be to make sure these projects are implemented. We don't want to face the same problem come August this year. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I think that matter has been clarified, and therefore that takes us to the next, which is Chairperson Committee on Devolution.
I rise to respond to a statement raised by Honorable Ken Mutuku, MCA Kitise Kithuka Ward, regarding the drought being experienced in the county. A statement that was requested on 21st March. Mr. Speaker, sir, I seek your protection. Honorable members are saying that the request of the statement is not in the House, and they are not saying that in a formal way. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Proceed. Proceed, member from Rale Mali.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the honorable member and chair of devolution, Mr. Speaker, is quite aware that any statement respond, the request of the statement must be in the House, Mr. Speaker. So I think as per the standing orders, the requester is not in the House, and I don't think we should proceed, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson, you have the response ready? But you are satisfied the response is ready as it is?
Yes, to our best of our knowledge, it's the full report.
Fair enough. Standing orders provides that you proceed and table if the request of the statement is not in the House. And then we'll access that document, read. If he has issues, he will raise them the subsequent sitting.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion. The report of the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the installation of solar-powered floodlights in various markets in the county.
Chairperson, Committee on Roads and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the report of the Committee of Transport and Infrastructure on the installation of solar-powered floodlights in various markets in the county, laid on the table of the Assembly on 2nd April 2019. Mr. Speaker, I will start with the executive summary. In the financial year 2014-2015 and 2015-2016, the county government allocated accumulatively shillings 29,235,176,000 for the installation of floodlights in various markets in bid to improve security and also extend business hours. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the year 2016, the department contracted the installation of floodlights, contract number GMC/TR/T/141/2015-2016 to Technology Benchmark at a contract sum of Kenya shillings 27,520,000 shillings. Later, the contract was terminated and a certified amount of Kenya shillings 6,289,872.50 was paid after a joint assessment of the works done. Mr. Speaker, sir, the statement regarding the installation of solar-powered floodlights in markets in Emali, Mulala Ward, and in other wards was requested by Honorable Nicodemus Muthoka, County Assembly Member for Emali, Mulala Ward, on 14th March 2019. The response to the statement was tabled on 21st March 2019, where it was resolved that an oversight of all the floodlights be done to establish the implementation status. Mr. Speaker, the oversight exercise on the county floodlights was conducted in all wards across Makueni County, where honorable members were divided into 15 groups, which conducted the exercise on 22nd and 25th March 2019. Mr. Speaker, sir, the terms of reference were to establish whether the supply, installation, testing, and commissioning of the floodlights had been done, and collect views from the members of the public and the PMCs. Mr. Speaker, the members of the county assemblies observed the following during the oversight visits. Number one, the installation of the county solar floodlights or street lights was complete in some wards, with the following wards having works partly done. The wards include Kikumbulu South, Kikumbulu North, Nguumo, Makindu, Mavindini, Wote, Kilili Kalamba Ward, Muvao Kikumini, Ilima, and Kee wards. It was reported that the contractors had an extension of the completion date to 29th March 2019. Number two, most of the installed floodlights were working properly, with most being under the defect liability period, except for those in Booni Ward, Tulimani, and Kithungo Kitundu wards, which were installed by the first contractor in the year 2017, and most were faulty and others had been vandalized. Mr. Speaker, the design of the floodlights was substandard and of poor quality, and the lights were of low capacity. The county assembly members found out that what was installed was solar street lamps, but not solar floodlights as indicated in the BQs. And finally, Mr. Speaker, most of the markets were too large to be allocated only one floodlight, which could not illuminate a significant area, for example, Salama Town, among other large towns. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee recommends that 1. The department should fast track all the projects in the county and ensure that all floodlights are completely installed and per the specification provided in the BQs. Number 2, the department should ensure that all the faulty floodlights are repaired and the vandalized lights are replaced. Number 3, future floodlights installations should be of good design, high quality, and high capacity. And number 4, the department in future should consider increasing and installing more floodlights within the markets to increase the areas covered by the light. And finally, the department in future should consider assessing the market sizes before installation of floodlights and prepare a proper design in order to install the right capacity floodlights that can illuminate the town or the right number of floodlights or street lights. Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of the committee, I wish to extend special gratitude to the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the Assembly for the support offered, and thank all members who diligently discharge their mandates as required by the law and present this report to this Honorable House for adoption. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, at this juncture, I call upon Honorable Mbula Mutula to second the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to second this motion. And Mr. Speaker, we went across the county as an assembly to oversight on these floodlights. And we observed several things, and it was a shock. Like for me, in the group I was in, it was in Makindu, whereby when the contractor who had this tender heard that we are doing the oversight that day, he was running up and down installing the lights that day. So that was not good, because even the members of the public, they told us that we've seen you today, and it's the same day we are seeing the floodlights being installed. So, Mr. Speaker, as a committee, we also urge those who are doing the contracting and all that to make sure that they don't wait for us to push them. If they are given these tenders and they are not able to do it, they should tell they should tell the relevant officers that they are not able, because when they hear that we want to do something or we want to oversight and they run up and down doing it the last minute, and the public have been crying all through, that is not good, Mr. Speaker. And also the quality of those floodlights, it's not good, Mr. Speaker. We need a good quality for sustainability purposes, and we also need long ones, because even the public, the members of public we interacted with, they requested that they need long floodlights because some of them are very short. They cannot serve the whole town, I mean the market. So we need to be very strict with the people who are given these tenders, and they need to work without waiting to be forced. They need to do what they requested to do, and if they cannot do it well, they need to say it, because we have so many people in Makueni County who can do the same tenders. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that this assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on installation of solar-powered floodlights in various markets in the county, laid on the table of the Assembly on 2nd of April year 2019. The floor is open for debate. Member for Mlala Emali Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support the report. But, Mr. Speaker, I will emphasize on the content, Mr. Speaker, and the workmanship that was found. I requested for this statement, Mr. Speaker, and, Mr. Speaker, I'm very concerned, Mr. Speaker, with the amount of money that was paid, Mr. Speaker, by the first contractor, Mr. Speaker. In the first report that was presented here, Mr. Speaker, by Majority Leader, it indicated that the first contractor had only done four lights, Mr. Speaker, unless there is an error. And the amount paid, Mr. Speaker, for the first contractor whose contract was terminated, Mr. Speaker, was 6 million, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, 6,289,872.50 cents, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, the lights, as per the observation by the honorable members who went round, if you look at number 4, Mr. Speaker, it is that what was installed was street lamps, Mr. Speaker, but not street lights, Mr. Speaker. Those are lamps, Mr. Speaker. So the majority of the towns are really not serving the purpose for these lights. Looking at the amount involved, Mr. Speaker, 29 million is a lot of money. If this money went to our bursaries, it could have created an impact, Mr. Speaker, much more. But since this money was being put, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that the time, extension of time by our business people, at the same time to curb insecurity in most of our towns.
Like the one in Ikadhulumbi, in fact, they have not given any timeline when it will be replaced, because the flashlight has only one panel. And the other one is okay. And the panel, which of course Mr. Speaker left, does not give enough light in that market, Mr. Speaker. The other one I want to recommend now the committee and thank them, because they have seen that now those flashlights are too short to give enough light in some areas like Kalawa Market, which is, of course is the biggest in the world. The one that is given there, it gives very little or light that is not enough. So you find that one area does not now benefit from the flashlights. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, it's good that they have seen that we need now the long ones, Mr. Speaker. The other one, Mr. Speaker, is that now most of those globes, They are badly now tilted. So next time when we are putting, we make sure that the globes are well tilted, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. And I also thank the committee once more.
But Member Fogalawa, after this, you not bring a statement on the tilted ones. You are okay. You live with them like that.
Mr. Speaker, I've said that the ones that are properly tilted, they are very short.